Here I am after so many years, hounded by hatred and trapped by fear. I'm in a box. I've got no place to go. If I follow my mind, I know I'll slaughter my own. Help me, I'm a prisoner. Won't you hear my plea? I need somebody, yeah, to listen to me. I beg you, brothers and sisters, I'm counting on you, yeah. Black babies in the womb, shackled and bound, chained by the caveman, keeps beauty down, smacked on the ass when they're squalling and wet. And to us finest man who. Peace and love. Welcome again to the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition. I'm Brother Frank, and I'm with my brother, former political prisoner,
Abdul Haq Islam.
Today's episode, we continue the discussion about Juneteenth, because so many of us celebrated Juneteenth last week, and it was very inspiring to see that it's being respected more in many different places. I see a number of shirts that was very creative, reflecting what Juneteenth means. I've seen a number of corporations benefiting off of what we are acknowledging as something important to us, which gives us that ammunition to fight for reparations. And I think that is very important when we start talking about Juneteenth and talking about what it means. We have to talk about the political prisoner who is not a terrorist, but in fact is a liberator, is a freedom fighter, and needs to come home with their family and needs to be included in all discussions pertaining to liberation. We recognize the political prisoner as being a casualty in the national liberation struggle, the struggle of people of African descent and working class people, common people who are the pawns in a capitalist society and are exploited by their labor to be vindicated, to be liberated, to be controllers of their own destiny. And the political prisoner understands that, and the political prisoner is at the forefront of this journey or this battle or this war for complete and total liberation. So today we want to continue to discuss the role of political prisoners. We want everybody to get involved in the struggle to bring Mutulu Shakur home. We know that he's going through a serious health crisis, and our hearts, our concerns, our prayers, our meditation goes out to the family. And we want our viewers to share this with 10 people, to do what you have to do to aid the family of our political prisoner, our national liberation freedom fighter, Dr. Mr. Brother Mutulu Shakur. Wow.
Peace, power, and love, brothers and sisters. As Brother Frank said, we are still, in the vibration of Juneteenth. This period of time between now and the 4th of July, is a highly educational time. You understand? As Frederick Douglass pointed out, the leaders of a nation that signed the Declaration of Independence, they were guilty of the most inhuman, fiendish, bloodthirsty acts in the history of the world, while they hypocritically talked about their ideals and morals, and it's up to us to understand the revolutionaries, to bring out the reality of what's going on. Our words in a sword fight with the words of the hypocrites, who project this lie, which they hope cause us to lay back and cross our legs and do nothing. But no, it's about fighting. It's about action. Juneteenth, you understand? The way revolutionaries understand Juneteenth is that it's still a call for action. We are not yet free. The history is that shortly after emancipation is when the Ku Klux Klan totally went to the lunatic city. You understand? And after emancipation, the racists, had very, very reactionary violence against our people. Juneteenth celebrations, in the years after liberation, you understand, the celebrations were attacked by white supremacists, So now we cannot go for this hypocrisy. These folks, claiming that, that they enjoy the beauty and the meaning of Juneteenth. No, it's up to us, you understand, black folks, revolutionary black folks, to give the true meaning of Juneteenth, which is we still got to struggle and fight for our liberation. You understand that this is still a system of blood sucking, of murder. You understand that Dracula is still Dracula. Frankenstein ain't changed to become kind. He's still Frankenstein. So we still dealing with the reality. I want to read a little short poem that I wrote about Juneteenth. Some of my stuff be kind of long, like 5 pages, but this one here is short. It's called For Juneteenth. Their bullets, bats, and nooses were made of beastly greed, terrible tools of demonic economics, means to reduce injustice and oppression forever. But 300,000 black guns won. Their branding iron said nigger, boy, and gal, but our hearts shouted dignity and freedom. Black guns won from Alabama to Africa. There's some sons of witches crafted culture, and guns became a neurotic narcotic. But black power will win again and again. Okay, that's my latest poem. Okay, so right on. So we have to understand we give an analysis of history, an analysis of reality, we talk about our interests. Someone who wants to make you his meal is going to cause you to be very, very confused about what your interests are. It is in our interest to fight for our liberators. So, in the spirit of Juneteenth, as we spread the message and spread this spirit, a warrior spirit that actually liberated our people, we must respect and honor those who fought for us, who stood up for us, you understand, and fight for their freedom, you understand, and be very, very clear that it's in our interest to fight for the freedom of our freedom fighters. And it is in the interest of our oppressors, our murderers, the chief criminals of the world. You understand? It's in their interest for us to abandon them, and don't care nothing about them. So we got to act in our own interest. So I'm going to read a few facts about a few of our political prisoners, just so we'll understand, why they need to be free. I want to talk about Joseph Bowen, who was very, very respected within the penal system, known as JoJo in Philly. Philadelphia, had the reputation of having the greatest plague of killer cops. The cops had a culture of murder of black people. So in a confrontation with the police, a cop was killed by brother JoJo, and while incarcerated, he became a member of the Black Liberation Army and fought against the oppression of our people. In one of those struggles, a warden, assistant warden was killed, and the commander of the guards was wounded. And another action, attempted escape, 39 hostages were taken, which was combined with a protest of conditions in the penitentiary. Now, some of y'all who've been locked up, and some of y'all who have family and friends who've been locked up, y'all know that the prison system attracts the employment of the bottom of the dregs, the dregs of society, the Ku Klux Klan mentality. They are attracted like magnets, like magnets to the prison system for employment, and they produce in very, very unhuman conditions. So there have been many, many uprisings against this, a fight for human rights. Here's a brother I just mentioned who was involved in one of those struggles, Brother JoJo. Okay. Also, we talk about Abdullah Hakim Malik. This is the brother who became Muslim and teaches Islamic and African history. He's always, if you look him up online, Abdullah Hakim Malik, slave named Michael Green. You understand? The poet name, the Hurricane, will come up alongside that. Also, Brother Fred Muhammad Burton. Again, Philly. Philly. He was accused of plotting to kill police officers. Many of us remember the history of Philly under the fascists, once police commissioner and then Mayor Russo. The police in Philly were well known, you understand, to have waged a war against black people, a war they started and drew first blood. So this brother was accused of plotting to kill police officers, and indeed in an incident, a police officer was killed. And there was a witness who was arrested to testify, Marie Williams, And if you look up the record of her testimony, first she said that the brother didn't have nothing to do with it. In another statement, she said she heard some people in the basement saying we should off some pigs. She didn't know whose voice it was, but then she claimed it was his. And then contradicting her earlier testimony, she was forced to testify and said that she had knowledge that this is the brother who committed the murder. All right. So this is another example of some of this so-called justice that goes down in these courts. Convicted by all white jury. And a clear injustice. A brother who fought against the war that the police started. And in the spirit of Juneteenth, we must be, like I said, we must be clear on what our true interests are. Our interests are in our freedom fighters being free. All power to the people.
Right, because if our interest is not in our freedom fighters, then what are our interests in? Right? Do we want to emulate the role of our oppressor, the capitalist? Do we want to exploit the working class people? Do we want to help the few at the expense of the many? We have to raise these questions so we can find out answers that are really beneficial not only to us but for the next generation. Because the last thing we want to do is pass on our problems to the next generation and make their lives a lot harder than it has to be. I know that as we say, and you're going to hear me say it over and over again, Mumia Abu Jamal said that if the Panthers were not infiltrated and the Panthers were not um, attacked as viciously as they were attacked, and they were allowed to do what they were doing and then only take it to another level, then our lives would have definitely been a lot different because they were on the path to making sure that each and every one of us received what we needed to receive because their way of doing things and their objective was void of that idea of exploitation being okay and the position of an individual or a group of individuals is to acquire the extreme profit because of the exploitation of the working class people. And I think that this is something that we need to really pay attention. We need to analyze it as precise as possible so that we can educate ourselves more better and arm ourselves because it's a war of ideas. And the war of ideas is going to come with casualties and the political prisoner is one of those casualties. So one of the ways that we can support this work or continue to do this work is devote time to it. We say donate a dollar to the political prisoner, and we're going to give you a receipt as to what your dollar went to. Right, that dollar could produce some copies. I'm going to make the copies, and then I'm going to place the copies in certain areas that I think is going to be eye catchers to the working class people, everyday people who get up and struggle for food, clothing, shelter, so they can understand that what they are achieving has not come with the sacrifices of others. So whether it's a 9 to 5, 40-hour day work day, or it's just the idea that people of African descent, people who were kidnapped from Africa and brought here to be slaves and to make up the working class, uh, that whole process and that idea that had to be attacked and had to be eradicated from society as something socially acceptable had to be fought for. And that idea was not rid of everyday people's mind on its own. It was a struggle, it was blood, sweat, and tears. And I think that this idea that we have that we are a benefit off of something or we receive something without struggle is something that we have to challenge ourselves to really think hard as to who do I owe what to and how do I express gratitude. And Dr. Matuda Shakur was saying that prior to Sundiata Akoli's release, because of people's effort, because of people's continuous effort, because it happened decades after decades that people struggle to get him home so that he can, spend his last days with his family.
Yeah.
That was a struggle, but
Free Matulu.
Right, free Matulu. Matulu show Matulu gratitude, right? Show him gratitude by supporting his family. So we say donate a dollar to this cause. Let us fight. Everybody can do something. Artists can do something. Singers can do something. And another thing on top of it being Juneteenth that had just passed, this is also Black Music Month. And I think that these musicians need to pay attention to what's going on. Nina Simone said what the musician had a responsibility to reflect the times, right? So if we have massive gun violence, musicians to express their concern about that. If we have people still going through injustices, musicians need to express that. They need to talk about that. They need to educate the person or the people who are buying their music as to what's going on and what their role in it is should be. Excuse me. Either you're part of the problem or part of the solution, and they have an opportunity to do that. And they should be reminded by the people who listen to their music that they need to say more than what they've been saying. If it's just about money and sex or other pleasures and not about addressing injustices, then who's really at fault? Is it the person buying the music or the person making the music? Because they're in the business of selling music, and what's going to sell music is going to be something that provides people who are listening to the music moments to escape, right? But even we escape momentarily, our problems are there until they are completely eradicated. And we have to do that by being organized. We have to do that by participating in the change that we want. So when you think about it being June and Black Music Month, what music inspires you to, or should you would think that it would inspire people to want to fight for change?
Well, any music that talks about our situation, that tells some truth, it's got to have that beat to it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
But that brings out the power of our people, the love of our people, the dignity. You understand the beauty of our people. Striving ahead. In that vein, the December 12th movement, as part of our "We Will Stop the Killing," is going to have a poetry slam. And we're also inviting people who write lyrics to songs to write some positive lyrics. You understand, to share with the people.
What's one song that you remember that inspired you to fight for change?
Fight the powers that be.
Fight the powers that be, the Ozzy Brothers. Yes, yes, I thought that was a very important song because of
that
what
was Chuck D.
Oh, you took, okay, but the Ozzy Brothers did have a song called "Fight the Power."
Yeah.
But I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Chuck D. Yeah. He has a number of songs that inspire people.
Yeah.
And I think that we have our obligation to fight the powers that be, because it's the power that be that keep our political prisoners incarcerated.
And one lullaby, you understand, is a beautiful tune, that people love. I was born by the river in a little tent. And just like the river, I've been running ever since the change gonna come, and that's what we're about. We're about some change, Fundamentally, that's what we're striving for, some change. The change is gonna come.
Right.
Yes, it is.
Yes, and Sam Cooke said that best, and I think when that song came out, it inspired people because they needed something to lift themselves up.
Yeah.
To say, okay, tomorrow's gonna be a brighter day, but it's gonna be a brighter day. How? On its own, or it's gonna be an organized effort of people?
Well, it's gonna come through struggle. Everything comes through struggle. Every baby that was born, you understand, went through 9 months of struggle. That sperm cell struggled to survive out of billions of sperm cells that one survived. So, it's all about struggle. Nothing in the world happened without struggle. So we call on our people to struggle for our liberation, and a change gonna come.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have to keep fighting, right?
That's right.
And that's one of the things that I get inspiration from is our political prisoners fighting for us. Because you look at, I was just online yesterday and I see that Mumia Abu-Jamal, there's a new book coming out on his case, and I think that that's very important. And then there's a call for 40 cities to take a stand for Mumia, because he's been incarcerated for over 40 years.
Stand up.
So with the book and with the rally call for these 40 cities, I think that that's very important. And then June 30th, if you're in Long Island City, aka Queensbridge, there's going to be a presentation in that area at about 6 o'clock, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. At some point, I'm gonna try to get the flyer. If I can't get it now, then I'll get it to you at another time. You can contact me at sefusankofa@gmail. That's SEFUSANKOFA@gmail.com, and I'll give you the flyer for that. If you happen to leave in Queensbridge, I think you need to come out for this important program, because the program is going to be dealing with political prisoners. And this is the summer, right? This is summer. It's starting on violent. And I think that one thing that we have to do to combat this violence is we have to check up on ourselves mentally, make sure that our mental health is right. And that's why the episode we did on Veronza Bauer was very important. And I think that people to get in contact with this brother, we provide you with the information. One of the things that we provided you with a number of organizations that have addresses, contact information, and currently giving updates on political prisoners that you can contact them and you can get more information about a political prisoner. But Veronza Bauer is practicing techniques to combat mental illnesses or to strengthen your mental health.
Yeah, to cool you out, to cool that rage.
Right, because you want to be clear out here. Because every time I take the subway, I'm seeing a new person go through a serious mental health issue, a crisis, and they're calling out for help. Yeah. I think the political prisoners have the best answers because they are in the worst predicaments, right?
Right.
Mumia Abu-Jamal said being incarcerated is like being in your bed 23 hours a day. Yeah. So if you sleep 8 hours, you still got a number of hours that you're just in that bed. And so just imagine how torturous that is. So when we think about our political prisoners, let's envision them being tortured so that we can understand the urgency in which we need to respond when it comes to our political prisoners. So as the weather begins to get even more and more nice.
Cool summer.
Cool summer. Yeah, if you happen to be with your family, make sure that you are discussing political prisoners. When you go out and buy your summer gear, make sure you buy a shirt that expresses the concern about our political prisoners and the need for us to participate in the struggle. I know our sister, our comrade in the struggle, Joyce Powell, she has some strong shirts. I think brothers and sisters need to buy that shirt. Say Free Joy Powell. If you having trouble finding out where's it at, as we say, contact us at sefusankofa@gmail, and I can get you that information. Make sure that you share this episode with 10 people. And write out political prisoners for the summer. Set a goal. You're gonna have some time, some free time. Put those distractions on the side. Make time for people that love you and care for you and are struggling to make the world a better world for not only you but for the next generation. So those are things that you need to take up, or you should take up. What else is June? June is also anti-gun violence month, right? So despite the fact that there are a number of things going on violently, recently in Harlem there was a shooting. One aspiring athlete, basketball player from Houston. Well, he was playing in Houston, but I think he was from Harlem, or he came to Harlem, and got it was a casualty in senseless gun violence. Our hearts and our prayers and our meditations and our thoughts themselves go out to his family, and just be safe out here, and always think about the ideas that the political prisoner has in terms of being resilient, in terms of being calm and seeing long term, right? Because a number of our political prisoners, they could have just gave up. They could have just stood in bed all day. But yet they wrote to their families, they informed their families that they were strong, they informed their supporters that they were strong, and they encourage us to be strong, right? If we have the ability to move around freely, quote unquote freely, right? Because there's limitations with all ideas of freedom if you're not in control of your own destiny regarding the political powers that be, then that idea of freedom is only interpreted by the oppressor or those who have the power. But in another way to look at something from an objective of what we have that can be used for us to move forward, we look at our ability to get up and go wherever we want to go when we want. The political prisoner is not in that same predicament, and we need to utilize that to not only benefit ourselves but to benefit the unfortunate. Right? We say our political prisoners are unfortunate because they are incarcerated, but they are fortunate enough to be of sound mind and body and spirit, and they give us the inspiration to continue to fight, to be strong, to struggle to our very last breath. And I think that that is the finest example of what a human being is, right? If you look at the history of people, you look at their most valuable heroes may not to be the ones that have the most money, but yet is the ones that make the most impact.
Right.
Right? 100 years from now, they'll talk about Mumia.
That's right. That's right. Tall respect, utmost respect.
Utmost respect. Like absolutely.
You know, yeah. Talking about Juneteenth and stopping the killing, I want to mention the December 12th movement, who core members, the New York 8 were political prisoners. And right now, they have a very, very powerful program in the street called We Will Stop the Killing. You know, who is these cats going to listen to? They going to listen to the roughnecks like me, Frank, Brother Cole, Train Shimmer Omawali Clay, Ruth Carter, you know, Colette Payne. You know, those are the type of people they listen to. I was in joint with Matulu. You know, Matulu was a roughneck. You know what I'm saying? Had tall respect among the brothers on lockdown. You know, Matulu used to go around body punching on folks. You understand? You know, the brother respected Brother Matulu. You know, these are the type of people that these roughnecks in the street will listen to. They're not going to listen to no sissy like Barack Obama or somebody like that. They're not going to listen to nobody like that. Some American flag waving coward, you understand? Some race traitor. They're not going to listen to them. They're going to listen to people they look up to. People in the spirit of the Black Panther Party. People like Sekou Odinga. You understand? These are the type of people they're going to listen to. You know, so the December 12th movement is still rocking out in the street. You know, they just had an expose of Gregory Meeks, you know, a race traitor who's collaborating with the enemy in the enemy's plan to recolonize Africa, to suck more and more the blood of Africa. The enemy right now is stealing $60 billion from the African continent every year. And Gregory Meeks right now is collaborating with the enemy. You understand? The ultimate act of Uncle Tom jumping off right now. The world heavyweight champion, Uncle Tom, Gregory Meeks, December 12th movement is exposing him right now. You know, still doing the work. These are former political prisoners, still doing the work for the benefit of our people, fighting for reparations. You understand? Giving the true meaning. You understand? At the heartbeat of giving the true meaning of Juneteenth. That Juneteenth is about continual fighting. That everything we got through fighting. We didn't get nothing. You understand? By these people feeling sorry for us, but appealing to their consciousness. How you gonna appeal to something that don't even exist? You understand? That is the most backwards idea that's ever been existed on history, to appeal to some conscience that don't exist nowhere. You know, so shout out to them, tall ups to them, big respect to them. You know, shout out to Yusef Salam. You understand?
Yeah, speak on that, brother.
Yeah, Yusef Salam. I was incarcerated with brother Yusef Salam. Shout out Yusef. Remember, all right, I'm gonna send this video to you. Remember, we was on the yard, and the police was pointing up Yusef. It was pointing at Yusef. The police on the circle pointing at Yusef. I hollered at the police. I said, y'all better not put your hands on this brother. And, you know, from what I understand, they never put their hands on the brother. Brother Yusef was on the radio, and, he relayed that when he was in Clinton, the outside Clinton joint, you understand, that the police said, you don't even belong here, you know. Yusef You understand? Got out, got his education. Now he got a PhD. He is Dr. Yusuf Salam, and recently he won the award for the confident Muslim of the world. You know, so straight ahead, brother Yusuf. You know, keep on keeping on. Former political prisoner.
Excellent. Yeah.
15 years, something he didn't even do. He knew he didn't do it. You know, and he didn't go for the con game. If you admitted you did so, we're gonna let you go.
His mother was very strong on his corner.
Yeah, she gave him good. Sharoni gave him good advice.
Absolutely.
Right on. Yeah.
Right. So that's very powerful for us to identify who was standing and who was standing strong and who continues to stand strong, because now we truly know who our heroes are. So we say right to a political prisoner. Don't let our political prisoner die in prison. If you are from July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, check out the International African Arts Festival. It's going to be in Brooklyn. And if you need further information about that, contact me at 347-679-3936. Again, that's 347-679-3936. I can give you the flyer via text, or you can email me at sefusankofa, sefusankofa@gmail.com, and I can give you the flyer. Check out our table, get some information on political prisoners, ask us questions, ask us what's really on your mind. Let's exchange dialogue. Let's struggle to raise each other's consciousness, and let have a very powerful, important summer, a summer that we're thinking about.
A cool summer.
And write to a political prisoner during the summer. Read some materials on political prisoners. Jalil Abdul Mudakim is home. You know, find out how you can find out more about political prisoner work, and find out more about what we're doing. The Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition. If you happen to see me in the street, stop me and let's engage. Let's talk. Let's make each other better. So that should be the aim for the summer. And we're going to see you next Wednesday. Brother, your closing remarks?
Oh, I want to say, you mentioned the African Arts Festival. I wanted to mention that African Arts Festival, the Adun Day Festival. I attended the Chicago 4th of July festivals, and these type of events, you understand, where conscious people come. There's never no shootings, and as scientists, what does that mean to us? That means that there's a causative factor why these things don't happen. If we study cause and effect, you understand, we'll see that when gatherings occur where a certain type of culture is there, where people listen to a certain type of message, there's violence, there's killing, there's self-hate. You understand? But in these settings where self-love is, where people are conscious, when people are conscious of their history, when people know themselves, know who they are, that should give us an idea of how we're going to solve this problem. You understand? Of a black on black, brother killing brother. So I want to end by saying that on Marcus Garvey's birthday, August 17th, if we can get enough of you brothers and sisters out there to organize and send the message out there on August 17th, no shooting, no killings. You understand? All unity, everybody come together. Let the message of Garvey's birthday, well, whatever gatherings you have, cross country, send the message, cross country, no shootings on Garvey's birthday. If we do that, we can make it real. And we can have a cool summer. I looked up cool summer online, and there was a sun shaped like a heart. You understand?
Yeah.
So we ain't got to be hypnotized and listen to the word hot summer and thinking that means that we just like dogs that ain't got no brain. We just got to growl and attack each other as soon as we see one another. You understand? We are in control of our own destiny, and we can make things happen. We can make plans and make those plans become reality. All right. All power to the people. What's called free them all.
Free them all. Yes. And as we always do, we're gonna close off with words from our brother in the struggle, Mr. Killer Mike.
idea, Miss Kathy Hughes of Radio 1. She's like, Michael, it is time that you guys organize a fund to set aside to help people who sacrifice for our freedom. Meaning, every time something happens, I hear this. Why don't the gang bangers jump up and do something for us? Why don't you kill them? You kill each other. And I say to myself, when is the last time you sent money to Assata Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Matulu Shakur? When is the last time you sent money to Mumia Abu-Jamal or Larry Hoover or Jeff Ford or Leonard Peltier? When is the last time you have made it your business to send money to a revolutionary or a hoodlum that has helped us? And until we start to do that, how can we ask these young men to be warriors? Because if they do it in the name of the hood, at least the hood gonna honor their name always. At least the hood gonna make sure at least their children got something or their mama's house is looked after as a community. If we're going to ask people to bungee jump for us with no cord, be prepared to take care of them when they get a life sentence. Be prepared to look after their families. See, I don't mind the work getting done, but let's take care of the workers. Let's stop asking more out of people than we would do for ourselves. So what I'd like to see, my dream thing, is to see 1 million people from the culture dedicate $10 a month. That's $10 million a month, $120 million a year toward taking care of civil rights leaders who have worked on our behalf and are elderly now and don't have to take care of themselves, like Rosa Parks, whose rent was paid by the owner of Little Caesars Pizza. We should have had a fund to make sure that she never had to worry about that again in her life. We should have a fund that makes sure money makes it to Assata Shakur and Matulu Shakur has legal representation and food, and Leonard Peltier, who has diabetes in jail, can get insulin and taken care of. And until we start doing it, $10 a month is about what you pay on a couple fast food restaurant visits. So if 1 million of us do that for the rest of our life, look at how well we'll be taking care of the people that we're asking to sacrifice on our behalf.
I agree. And recently